I'm Martin Wilsey,
Hey, I'm Shanna Galley.
And I'm David Keener.
and this is the Hourlings podcast project. This week we're gonna kind of get a new topic. This week on Sunday, there was the Oscars, and it was notable for a lot of reasons. So we're going to talk about it. Let me ask you guys: did you get to watch it?
Yes.
Yes, I did.
Excellent. All three of us got to watch it. So the thing that I found most notable about it was that the science fiction film Everything Everywhere All at Once took the most Oscars in Best Picture, Best Actress, Best Supporting Actor, and Best Director, Best Screenplay, which is
Yeah, I was
notable
going to
for
say,
us.
since we're writers, yes, best screenplay.
Best Screenplay too,
Best original
and
screenplay.
yeah, and it is a very complex screenplay. I'd like to try to avoid spoilers because it is twisty turny and kind of whacked. But for me, the most notable thing is one, it was a genre film. Science fiction rarely, takes the big one, and it was indie, so it wasn't any of the big houses that took it. So what do you guys think of it? Did you guys get to see the movie before the Oscar?
I did see the movie. I knew it was a genre fiction movie when my mom walked out 20 minutes in. So she was not a fan. And even I, as a more experienced genre fiction watcher and reader, was a little confused in the first act. So it was a little hard to follow. But then I got it, as things went on, and it got smoother for me. But I love the creativity. It was very wacky, and I think it's good to normalize wackiness, and say films can be weird, if we want. We can explore weird things.
Also,
And
you
the
can take
acting
chances.
and the acting was phenomenal. So I think all of the acting awards were justified. And speaking of wins for genre fiction, Jamie Lee Curtis winning an Oscar is just like a total win for genre fiction, like all around the board. So
Right, because that's been the only thing that she's done her entire career.
right.
Now, I will confess, I have not actually had a chance to see the Oscar-winning Best Picture. It is on my list, but I did not get to see it beforehand. So I will definitely make that happen.
I actually got to see it in the theater.
Oh.
And I immediately ordered the 4K, Blu-ray disc when it came out, so I could watch it with Brenda.
Yeah.
She hadn't seen it. We watched it on Monday together, and it's even better watching it the second time.
Yeah, because you catch stuff,
Because
right?
there's all these subtle weirdnesses that you catch knowing more what the hell's happening. And
did you go alone to the theater? And that's something you do often?
Oh no, I went with my friend Tony.
Okay, because I like going alone to the theater. It's
Yeah,
very
I
relaxing.
actually do go to the movies periodically by myself. If it's a movie I want to see and Brenda doesn't want to see, if she's not interested in like superhero movies or anything that's got horror at all.
I usually go to movies with Don Anderson, who's my one of my best friends, but also he's the graphic artist that does the design for all my covers, and he won't let me pay him, so I take him out to the movies and pay for that.
Well, that's a good idea. It's really interesting. This kind of film, the actual screenplay, the writer's job for this, I can't imagine how difficult it was to convey these concepts on a script. Because a lot of the most interesting parts of the movie have no dialogue at all. And it's all visual, and the visual stuff can be incredibly complicated.
I'll bet you the screenplay is already online if you want to
Now,
find it.
I will say that the other genre fictions that were nominated for other various categories, I don't think did super well. We had, the Batman didn't get anything. Wakanda Forever won costume, didn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
The Wakanda Forever one costume, but makeup went to the whale, which was interesting. Usually makeup is like up for grabs for our genre fiction fans. So the fact that we got Best Picture was really something. I think the last genre film to get Best Picture was Return of the King, right? Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah, I
really
think you're right.
track it. In fact, I can probably bring it up on Wikipedia.
Yeah, I'd put $10 on that. The
And
last
honestly,
one.
Return of the King, I think, got it for a couple of reasons. One, it was a great movie. More importantly, it was a great ending to a trilogy of movies that had previously been thought unfilmable. So I
Yeah,
think Peter Jackson kind of got the Oscar award for Best Picture
for all of
for
them.
that entire body of work,
Right,
not
right,
just that
yeah.
one movie.
Yep.
And I thought it was deserved.
In the past, am I right, Marty?
I am trying to find the actual list by year.
Yeah. In the past, there have been very good genre fiction movies, up for, nominated for Best Picture. In fact, many of them I wish had won. I supported Arrival for Best Picture, but that did not win. And I supported Dune. Wasn't Dune nominated for Best Picture?
I think so. I can't remember for sure.
But I love
But
that
even that
movie.
is sort of a change. Back in the day, because I've been watching the Oscars since the early 70s. It's a family sport in my family. Um, they used to have 5 Best Picture nominees, so they expanded that to up to 10 in order to help get more films more exposure. So
Right.
what tended to happen is the genre films got nominated for the extra exposure, but they didn't actually win.
Nor did they probably expect to win.
Right.
And the one that I wanted to win this year, I mean, I really wanted Top Gun to win. That was the one I was
Top Gun got
got
something.
Sound, which was well deserved. Sound, but Tom Cruise didn't even show, and the only people from Top Gun that were there were like up on a balcony somewhere. So I was like, oh, okay, I guess it's not happening. But
Yeah.
Miles Teller was there up on a balcony, and
Now, Way of Water, I thought got cinematography or something like that, which
yeah,
was
it got set design.
set design, which was, yeah, quite frankly, well deserved.
Oh no, wait, did it get set design, or did All Quiet on the Western Front get that?
I can't remember. It got one of
Um,
those awards. Um,
I think it got visual effects.
that could be.
It got visual effects, and All Quiet on the Western Front got set design. Um,
And it was well deserved. But as much as I like Way of Water, it's it's got a lot of familiar elements. It's well done, but I didn't think it was an Oscar-winning film either.
Yeah, here's another interesting one for Best Picture. The Way of Water was nominated for this year. That is like completely science fiction, and I'm surprised it's not like the animation category.
huh, yeah, exactly.
Because like that entire movie was like out of the computer. It seemed
I'd
like.
have had a better chance to win, honestly, if it were nominated for Best Animated Feature.
Well, but in all honesty, it's a different technology. They used the motion capture for it. So
Yeah.
I can
Oh,
see.
The Shape of Water was
Oh,
the
that's
winner in
true.
2017. That was a fantasy
Yeah,
film.
you're right. You could, that
Yeah.
was a weird one. I actually didn't like that one that much, but
That was all right.
yeah.
I've had a chance to see it a couple times and I haven't pulled the trigger on it.
And in 2014, Birdman won. Have you seen that?
Yeah, that's about the actor, right?
I have not.
It is, well, he's got superpowers. He's like a retired superhero.
Hmm.
Um, I'm looking back.
Yeah, but in
Talk
general,
amongst yourselves. Yeah,
genre
Lord of the
fiction,
Rings is the next one, 2003.
yeah, in general, genre fiction doesn't get a lot of love.
Yeah, doesn't get
But
a lot of nominations at all.
but in fairness, a lot of genre fiction. I like science fiction and fantasy films, but um, a lot of them in Hollywood represent sort of things that were in the literary science fiction field were old news in 1940. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
But anyway,
Anyway, so that's good news. I'm hoping that it will increase people's interest in genre fiction as well.
Well, I also think we should get to a point where, you know, I feel like science fiction is and fantasy is a realm in which you can tell other human stories, and kind of use this different world as a way to focus on the problem in our own world, so to speak. Um, so I don't see why the setting should disengage you from the story, or make you think that it's not award eligible. It's a matter of like, does it really connect on an emotional level?
well, I don't think that the Oscars are just discriminating against genre fiction in their tendency to select in their tendency in Best Picture selections. They also snub like just really like I guess I'll have my moment on the soapbox and say Top Gun. It was an amazing movie, but it has very much popular appeal. It's very formulaic. There's nothing that's like super artsy fartsy, and the Oscars like artsy fartsy. They like some very powerful metaphors that in a movie that moves very slowly and doesn't appeal to the average casual moviegoer. Does not disqualify that movie from the Oscars. In fact, sometimes it gives it an advantage. And so one of the reasons why I actually was very gunning for Top Gun was because, like, my mom, who doesn't really like going to the movies, went to the movies to see Top Gun. My grandfather, who is 92, who absolutely hates, Hollywood and all that, pizzazz, went to the movie theater to see Top Gun. And it's just like, that's what the movies is all about, right? Like appealing to the public and getting people excited again. And whether or not it won, which it didn't, many people in the industry agree that it saved Hollywood's ass.
Yeah,
And they
I would
got
say
people
it's
to the
the first
theater.
movie. It's the first movie I saw in the movie theater
Yeah,
since before the pandemic.
which broke a precedent that might have been permanent. And the permanent precedent might have been, we're doing streaming now, we're not doing theatrical releases anymore. But Top Gun changed that, and I think set us on a track where we can safely say that theaters are not going away for the next 20 years at least.
Right.
Yeah, and the thing about Top Gun is it was incredibly cinematic.
Yeah.
It was important to see that in the theater.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
that
amazing. Really
was my
is.
thought too, coming out of it. It's like I came out of that theater going, I remember thinking it odd that it's like, well, why do you guys keep pushing the movie back? It's obvious that we're going to be dealing with the pandemic for a couple of years. Why don't you just stream the sucker? Why wait one,
It was a
2,
great
3
decision.
years, right? And now when I came out of it, I'm like, yeah, I can see why you waited.
Yep, definitely.
So I still wish it won. But that's okay.
And honestly, I'm still amazed that they made a sequel to Top Gun, which was better than the original.
Agreed.
Yeah,
That's-
and I think
amazing.
that if you talk about screenplays, the people that did the screenplay for the new Top Gun were very familiar with the original.
Yep.
And they didn't redo it. Wasn't the same movie over again. It went in different directions in different ways, and it was a homage to the original. It honored the original, but it was new, and it really revealed that the pact with the demon that Tom Cruise has, keeping him young, is really paying off now.
Oh yeah, that happened at the Crossroads. You know about the Crossroads, right?
Yeah.
We'll pay for that later.
So, any other final thoughts about the Oscars?
I'll say the Oscars in general, because I've watched them for so many years. Over the past, I don't know, 5 years or so, they've been playing with the format, and it's like, well, it's too long, so let's shorten it. And last year was like, let's get rid of some of the categories and not show them on TV. And there's been this and that, and let's change the order and stuff. And this was in my opinion, this is like the best Oscars award show in like years. And it was even more fun because there were some interesting, like human interest stories. I was pushing for Brendan Fraser, and I was, even though I hadn't seen the movie, I was pushing for Everything Everywhere All at Once because it was the underdog, and etc. And
It
Jamie,
was not the underdog.
well,
it was-
Well,
I-
I was
it should have been.
amazed with Harrison Ford opening the envelope, and then Short Round gets to come up on stage with
that
Harrison
was
Ford.
sweet.
That was awesome.
Sweet. My last thought is just I hope they bring the red carpet back though. Champagne just doesn't cut it. It's got to be red. I don't know.
I didn't get to see any of the red carpet action.
Yeah.
I don't even know why they changed it. Was it an aesthetic thing?
Yes, it was a recommendation from Vogue. Vogue said that everyone's clothing would look a lot better with champagne instead of red as a contrast.
Who cares?
Yeah.
I don't really care. And
Oscar,
I didn't even really see any very wacky, outfits this year.
And
Lady Gaga.
the Oscar for best podcast goes to.
Yeah, that's right.
All right.
So anyway, thanks again. See you guys next week.